Gentlemen, boys, and girls, welcome to the SAP, the Sex Actually podcast. As always, it is your boy Dave Neal with Tasha Courtney.
Hello.
How are you today, Tasha?
Barely hanging on.
Barely hanging on with the rest of the world. That would be a good name for a new podcast, just called Barely Hanging On. And every week we just barely finish the episode.
Oy.
Anyone out there? Is everyone dead? How's everyone doing?
It's like broadcasting in the zombie apocalypse. In all zombie movies, there's always like a radio. Somebody gets out their old ham radio.
Just that last person who's just, not quitting.
They're like Morse coding a safe location.
Well, it's like when you get up in the morning and like they say if you work from home, you're supposed to put shoes on. Or you're supposed to put like jeans or pants on. Just pants. I've got pants on, no underwear though. That's it. I've got one ball hanging out. Yeah.
But you know what? Pants are not comfortable. They are not. If I'm at home, there's no way you're convincing me to wear jeans instead of
put like
sweatpants.
A pencil skirt on or something. Dress it. Put some like business outfit on.
No.
No? There's something to be said about like even this podcast we're recording with the 3-camera setup. So there's something to be said about like having to look presentable for people. Like somebody out there will see us. Versus when we just do audio only, you got your hand up your ass, eating a bag of taquitos. You're rubbing the old lady parts.
Well, I think if you don't want to wear pants, you could still put on an outfit. Maybe fix your hair, do some makeup or something. I haven't taken that advice. I can't remember the last time I had a shower and my skin looks like shit.
Well, listen, I'm struggling with the current direction of the podcast because I don't want to be too coronavirus heavy, and this could age poorly or good depending on what is about to happen. But I guess you can't not talk about it. If someone finds this podcast in the future and you're done listening to 18 months straight of coronavirus talk, just go back to the old hits where we just talk about getting blown in Mexico or whatever. But for this, it is what the climate is. Did you know that Trump today issued the National Guard to be deployed to California?
No.
That's right.
Why?
Because we need it.
Why?
Because shit's going down. He said, I think it was, I could be wrong about the East Coast state. It might have been New York, but he said Washington State and California are getting a National Guard. Because, hospitals need help. They're going to be setting up triage centers, and it's a whole thing, folks. I hope everyone out there is safe. I hope your family is safe. Statistically, that's not, always the case. We are going to be struggling with this as a species, which is kind of exciting. It's kind of exciting to have a little dilemma for the species.
Hard times make for good stories.
And, well, they don't make for good podcast downloads, I'll tell you that. I've been in the podcast subreddit, and everyone's like, half the downloads went away. It's true. People aren't going to work. They're not listening to podcasts. So we appreciate you guys for sticking around. But Jesus Christ, everyone listen twice. Please tell a friend. It's like, what's going on out there? You and I have both lost our jobs. Along with most of the country. We are out of work, and this is it. We're trying to maintain some level of sanity, right? So, and I think we're doing a damn good job. But if everyone's got to stick inside and socially distance and all this bullshit, you gotta continue to find a reason to get out of bed every day. You gotta I'm not telling you this, Tasha. I'm just saying in general, we have to have little 5Ks that we're training for, in our brain, not necessarily a physical 5K, but mentally, we need to keep ourselves out there. And you look like you fell asleep. You just ate rice. You look like you're done. Are you done?
Well,
give it to me, baby. Come on. You need a sip of the Dr. Pepper?
I don't want that.
Have some Diet Dr. Pepper.
It's not good for you. I'm exhausted. I'm truly exhausted today and yesterday. I'm just exhausted.
You thought you had the virus. You want to talk about it?
Not really.
You might have it by the time people listen. We all might, Well there, folks. Boy, I'm really carrying this thing right now. What do you want to talk about? I got things to get into, but we got to get through the small talk first to get into the things. We got to get into the things. I know you enjoyed your pineapple rice. Anything? What's it like being quarantined? What's it? How does
Honestly, I'm trying not to strangle you. Stuck in this 600 square feet, just trying not to strangle you.
Yeah, you can go walk down the hallway. You can go up to the roof. You can just listen to your new Bluetooth headphones I got you. That's what you should be doing. just listening to music. Just you'll see me just talking in the background.
I'm
and you can't
feeling
hear
I'm having a little bit of a hard time trying to prioritize where to focus my attention in this time off, even though it's not really time off. Because I feel so overwhelmed by the backlog of things. That's sort of where I'm at. It's like, I know I still need to do my taxes. I need to like clean out the bookshelf, which we sort of did today.
So you're saying you've got
one shelf, but it's just like there's
too much time.
No, I'm not saying I have too much time. I'm saying I have too many things on my to-do list, and it's overwhelming to know like where to start to tackle some of these things.
We had an episode on that, multi-goal syndrome. You've got too many things to do. What you need to do is prioritize them based on what's the easiest, like most attainable thing you can do, and start knocking off a couple easy victories.
They're just all so time consuming, and that's what it is. It's not that any of these things that I need to get done is really hard. They're just all pretty intensive, and I don't like to get into something that I know I can't finish. It's a huge problem of mine, but I just like, if I'm going to sit down and do my taxes, I know, okay, I'm going to dedicate the next 2 days to getting this stuff done. Maybe 3 or 4 days if I run out of ink halfway through and I have to wait on ink.
Isn't that
Staples.
the bitch that you just run out of?
Well, because I don't like to split focus, because I feel like that's where mistakes are made. So I like to do a whole thing at one time and focus on only one thing at a time.
But you also like to complete that thing. You're saying you can't just...
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying I can't do half of a thing, then do half of another thing, and then come back to the first thing, because that's...
I'm sure there's a survival, like there's a good reason to be that type of personality, but also if that's what's preventing you from getting anything done, then you've obviously narrowed it down to what the problem is with you. Your check engine light is pointing... I don't think
it's preventing me from getting anything done. It's just making it feel super overwhelming to get started when I know that all the things on my to-do list are all going to be huge undertakings. They're all going to be multi-day commitments.
Pop the Adderall, baby.
Even just shooting and editing content. I mean, editing stuff, I'll spend literally all day long on my iPad.
But here's
going through sets of photos.
Again, two of your issues revolve around the same personality trait. You're too hard on yourself judging your finished work, and you're too hard on yourself even thinking about getting the work done in the first place. You're just being too hard on yourself. And obviously we know the saying, no one's you're your harshest critic, but it's like, give yourself rewards for when you get stuff done. Literally, the most baseline, pat yourself on the back. Woo, made the bed. Woo, put some socks on. Woo, that's it. And if that's how you get done,
I'm gonna take a shower and do a face mask after this.
Yeah, go for it. But honestly, like we are the and again, I'm not making light of this pandemic we're in, but we need to. It's like in baseball, right? If you're in a slump and you just fucking everything's off, you get back to the basics. You start hitting the ball off the tee. You just go back to the basics you learned when you were 5 years old. Little things. And when you're in the pandemic, go back to the little things. Go back to the starting a to-do list. Like you are so big on having a regimented schedule. You love it when you know I'm going from this job to this job to this job. You love that, which is good. You don't have that now. You already work in a job where you don't really have a boss. You've got a couple agents and some managers that they get you your work, and then you are like your own sort of bookkeeper. But now that's dried up for the foreseeable future with the virus, right? So you need to figure out how you can access the manager within you, but not in a way that's like you're just gonna feel bad if you're not getting shit done.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is. If it's just going to Staples and buying some gold stars. I know Staples is probably closed, but we have a highlighter here. Get yourself some gold stars and just be okay getting one thing done at a time. And I know what you're saying. Well, they're giant things. Yeah, but when it comes to your taxes, there's one day where you just print out shit. Get the printout shit done.
Oh.
I know, it's crazy, but it's like
it's such a waste of paper too. It's just so annoying.
You're the only one I've ever met that does like that. Everyone who listens to this podcast is like me. They haven't done their taxes since '99. No, I do my taxes, but it's digital, baby. It's all online. I don't print out Amex receipts. I don't do any of that. You print out like which your Waze traffic report, and it's like, what the fuck? You really do.
Get all those deductions, babe. I pay a fortune every year in taxes.
I eyeball it, and until you're making a couple $100,000, I don't think they give a shit. But that's just me. I'm gonna get audited now.
That's actually not true.
What's this fucking feedback shit? What is that? I just tapped into a radio station. That's weird.
That freaked me out. I didn't like that at all.
Can you guys hear that? The fucking radio station's going through my leg right now. That's weird.
Ew, I didn't like that. That made me feel like we were in an alien abduction movie.
We probably are. You ever have, you hear people that like they've got like a loose filling or something in their tooth and they start getting in like a sports radio station? Yeah, that can happen.
That's not true.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, it's all frequencies. That's all a radio is. It's picking up frequencies at the perfect. Imagine a loose tooth at the perfect level, and all of a sudden it's like KDLA coming to you live, and it's like old school jazz. No, Google it. I'm sure it's out there. Anyway, there's a lot of relationships are having a hard time, right? They're having a hard time with this because we need to maintain. And everyone who's listening out there, you need to maintain some sort of ritual, some sort of thing you do for yourself. You know what I mean? I know I go for my runs. I don't know what you do. I like a lot of times it might be built into your workday where you'll go grab a Starbucks between a couple jobs and have some alone time. You got to figure out what that is that you love and make sure you give that to yourself. That's not save it for the end of the day. That's like cherished Tasha time. You need to figure out what that is.
Yeah.
Touch it again. Hold it, squeeze it. It's like a rap station. That's a different language. All right, enough. This is weird.
I don't like it.
This is the problem we have with this electricity. I bet you if they were, and again, audience, if you can't hear any of this, there's just like weird. There's like a telenovela playing through our cords here. But we got this fucking feedback issue. I swear, there's literally probably an old radio station going through this bread factory of a brick building we live in. There really is like a lot going on here. Anyway, don't leave us, folks. We're working on the audio issues, one thing at a time. Here we're trying to get Tasha to get a Starbucks. The Starbucks drive-thru is still open. You could do that as your daily thing. Go have a blast.
No.
You don't. You're gonna.
I think I need to just like figure out like maybe make a schedule or a to-do list for myself or something, and just. But it's hard to get stuff done, especially when you're around.
Yeah. Well, it's hard for me to get stuff when you're around. I totally understand.
Yeah. And no space in our like even though we have an office set up in the other room, it doesn't feel like a place that's conducive to getting work done.
Should we put
not a super like productive feeling office?
Maybe if you put these headphones on in your iPad and played some your type of music and just lock yourself in there. I mean, I don't know. I understand it's tough. I was watching a fucking YouTube video, and these masterclass advertisements come on, and it's like they're always like 10 seconds long, and then you skip it after 3 seconds. But I was letting one play, and it was like 2 minutes in, and I was like, I'm not going to buy the thing, but I was like, oh, hear this lady out. And she was a screenwriting teacher, and she was just saying, and she was actually like making a lot of sense in the ad pitch. I didn't buy it, but I was like, oh shit, she's like onto something. And she was saying like the biggest distraction, the biggest reason people suck at writing is because people distract them. And I'm not blaming you, but it's hard to get in your creative flow when you live in a place where you aren't incubated within that thing you're doing. Like, I'm sure you would much prefer to be doing your taxes if I wasn't around being like, hey babe, what do you think of this joke? Or hey, look at my new YouTube video, I totally get it.
Getting interrupted all the time.
Yeah.
And interrupting like your brain waves.
I am needy.
Yes.
I'm needy.
Yes.
I'm needy.
Yeah.
Guys, subscribe, rate and review, leave a comment. I mean, when I'm very like interactive when I'm working on something. I'm like, oh, look at this new edit. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, you want feedback. You really you need to show me the thing your kindergarten painting. Like you need that.
But it's also like for me, it's like, all right, it's only 8 seconds long. I just want you to watch the fucking intro.
But you said it yourself. It's interrupting the workflow. It's interrupting your brainwaves. It's interrupting your focus. And that's the sort of thing that can drive somebody freaking nuts.
Drive someone like you nuts. For me, I can be like, whenever you're like, hey, babe, come look at this thing. Boop, here I go. I'm like the dog. I just get up and do it. But if I'm like, hey, babe, look at this thing, you've got a vacuum in your hand and you're like, I need to go dust this. Like your brain's got a specific set of to-do list to do before it gets to me, and then by the time it gets to me, it might have forgotten what that's 3 minutes later. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
there's a way to manage
why do you
it.
think that your 8-second video that you want to show me is worth interrupting me right now?
Because in my mind,
why does it get to skip to the front of the line of my to-do list of stuff?
It's a great question. But in my head, it's not skipping to the front of the line. It's a DJ with 3 different mixers going on, so I can be doing all these things at once. It's just the way I kind of pull, along,
I need like 2 sets of headphones. One that's like do not disturb headphones, and one that's like okay for interruptions right now headphones.
I love that idea.
That's like a visual signal to everyone around me. Don't fucking talk to me. I need a sign on my back.
Don't fucking talk to me.
Can
somebody make Tasha this t-shirt just says don't fucking talk to me? Or maybe it's just like a scarf that just says don't fucking talk to me on it, and you just wear it.
Oh, like a blanket.
Yeah.
They do like those 2-sided blankets where one is like a red side and the other side's a blue side, and it's just the way they weave it. I need a blanket that one side says don't fucking talk to me.
And what's on the other side says make it quick. Hey, get to your point. But honestly, that's
and then you wear it whichever way. It's a sign on your back.
Didn't we have that idea about, because the problem with being on your phone is it's hard to know if someone's procrastinating or getting work done. And I think we're getting better at telling each other like, hey, I'm going to be working on this. But it is important to, like, if the other person's like, hey babe, are you ready to do X, Y, and Z? And it's important to say no, and this is why I'm working right now, because gone are the days where when you put your suitcase down and you get home that you're done for the day. We work. It's 10:30 at night right now.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's just, that's not.
But it's hard. It's hard because you're trying so hard to hold on to that focus. You know what I mean? It's like you're just like one little thread holding on to your like train of thought, and to say no, I'm working right now can completely disrupt that train of thought.
Now, I've always thought I was kind of like an ADD person, but I wonder.
I think we need a one word like work. Work.
Busy. Shut the fuck up. STFU. No, but I wonder, I don't know. I've never had like someone psychoanalyze how my brain works, but I know I know I don't necessarily always focus for long periods of time, but when I'm doing a solo episode, I can go off on 12 tangents and I can still get to where I wanted to go, but I might have missed my exit and had to loop back around. You know what I mean? Whereas with you, I feel like you get your limbic system gets flared when you get thrown off of the set plan you had. So it's not necessarily like an ADD, ADHD type of thing. It's like, this is the route I was going to take. I don't want to have to alter it to get to where I was going. But that's a positive.
Well, that's we talk about that in the perfection detox, that I can't touch the thing. That you can get like stuck on your expectations. If you have an idea about how something was supposed to go, about how your party's supposed to go, about how your weekend's supposed to go, how your presentation's supposed to go, and someone throws you a curveball, it prevents you from being able to adapt. For me, I find that I'm very open to going with the flow if I'm riding in the passenger seat for whatever that thing is.
If you trust that somebody's got...
But if I'm in the driver's seat, then I like to know what's happening, how are we getting from A to B, what are we going to do along the way, and then I have a hard time deviating from the plan.
And you know how we're different is that, and I respect that. I respect that. With me, like, quarterbacking is all about having your set plan. We're going to run a slant. You go run a slant. But if the cornerback stays back on the slant, I'm going to throw it to the other guy because I know the other guy. So it's all about adjusting. When like football, like you go in with your best. It's like what they say about boxing. Like I'm going to butcher this quote, but it's like all game plans go out the door when you get hit in the face. It's like something like that. I totally butchered the quote, but it's the idea that like, well, you can have all the game plans you want in life, just like we had all the game plans we wanted for how 2020 was going to go, and then a fucking pandemic happens. So we can't look back at yesterday. We can just look at each other and go, here are the skill sets we have. We have a teamwork. We have something we're building together. We've got family that supports us, and we're not going to miss rent this month. How do we breathe into all of the things we're grateful for and use our skills and know that when it's all said and done, literally decades from now, we might look back on these months, these trying times, as pivotal moments in defining who we became. Because I think, and I don't know, it could have been Jordan Peterson who was he was very critical of saying like you're like doing the best you can isn't enough. It's we're gonna try our best and whatever, but like we need to not just try our best and not just go in the direction of our dreams, but do it with some fucking positive energy and love. And that's what it's going to come down to. So it's like, how do we tackle our to-do list with love and not beat ourselves up if we don't get it all accomplished? I know we've talked off air and we had a tough day where we fought about some things, and there's a lot that like we've gotten done, but there's a lot that we haven't gotten done. And I know that bothers you a lot. And I totally understand.
But I don't think that you get that same like feeling in your chest. Like, oh, I just want to be able to breathe. You know what I mean? It's like when I have this nagging long to-do list, it's just like it's like constant poke in the back. You know what I mean? It's just like constantly on your mind.
I get it for different
chirping
things.
At you, and it's like, man, it's hard because I don't want to be like a negative Nancy, but like,
no, let it out.
Well, it's just it's like this feeling of like never ending, fucking barely keeping my head above water.
Yeah.
Like drowning in this shitstorm. Like I'm either like so slammed at work that I like barely have time to like eat a proper meal, or it's just like now the work's taken away from me. It's like I still feel like I'm overwhelmed because it's like all of these things that have just like accumulated and piled up, and it can feel super hard to feel like I'm having to manage you too, because we really we don't see things the same way. And, there are certain aspects of our lives where I really feel like you've adapted, but there are other things that I feel like we're still not on the same page with after dating for 6 years.
Yeah. And we might not ever speak the language. We just need to make our Google Translator as efficient as possible. So when your limbics are flared because you want something done a certain way or whatever, you need to be able to type it in, translate to Dave. And I need to be able to type in when my limbics are flared, when I'm ready to walk out with laundry to go to, across the 7-Eleven to go get fucking COVID-19 so we can have some good smelling sheets. I need to know that when you're like, when you're like, oh, babe, you grab these pillows too, that I don't literally throw a knife at you. You know what I mean? Because I need to be able to translate to you what fries my fucking gears and vice versa. Because you won't outwork me. And I say that to anyone in the world. They are not going to outwork me. And that doesn't say, I'm not saying anything about you specifically. That's just my mentality. We're doing this I made you do this podcast at 10:30 at night, and I'm going to edit this, and we have to get up in the morning, and I just cracked a Diet Coke. I'm not going to bed for a long, long time. No one is outworking me. I will be up in the morning to answer any comments I have on my YouTube and ready to go.
You know what I really wish sometimes? I really wish that instead of waking up in the morning and you just immediately going to work on your vlog of the day or your bachelor.
That was so loaded.
Bullshit.
Your vlog of the day. I hear you.
Or your podcast, that you would wake up and be like, hey, what can I... Actually, you know what? I wish you wouldn't even ask me. I wish you would just work on the thing that would benefit us as a team. Working together.
It's your love language, honey. You want to know that I'm doing acts of service and
I don't want to have to ask.
But a lot of times,
spell it out, and I don't want to have to explain to you what I want and need. I don't want to have to nag you for a month to do this project that we've been, trying to work on.
I like it when you are asleep, and I'm sitting right where I am, and I can see your little legs move because our tiny apartment. I can literally see around the corner. Go to our YouTube and you can watch me. It's just mime this out. But I like it when I'm up 90 minutes before you so I can get some shit done. There's people that wake up at 4:30 in the morning. Like I'm telling you, there's a whole community of like family men out there that they just want to wake up early so they can get some shit done before the kids start. Hey, well, I'm eating some oatmeal, and the next thing you know, your day's fucking gone.
My high school boyfriend, his dad went to work at 4 a.m. so he could be done by 11. And
Jesus Christ.
He went.
Well, that's a little too much because it's like, I mean, it's
he just didn't want to have to put his
fucking kid. I get it. It's tough, but so I understand what you're saying, and maybe it won't be the first thing I get to, but I'm so ritualistic, and it's not always for good things. Like I totally need to limit the amount of sports talk radio I listen to. Fucking Tom Brady, my hero, after 20 years, is gone to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you know what? You know why it's true love? Because I'm happy for him. I'm happy he's going to have some receivers that he can throw to and play for a couple more seasons. So I am happy for Tom Brady. Any Tampa Bay fans out there want to buy me some tickets to the game, let me know, hit me up. But I understand what you're saying, and it comes down to communication because I do more for you in the sense of editing and stuff than I'll ever ask for you to do for me. All I ask for you is to watch the 8 seconds of the drone shot that I took. That's all I ask. So that's why it's bananas to me. And I'm not putting this against you. I'm just telling you how different we are. That's how bananas it is to me when I'll spend 3 hours editing something for you. And then I'm like, hey, babe, look at this drone shot. And you don't immediately drop what you're doing to look at it. And then I'm like, well, this fucking shit. What the? You know what I mean? Like I lose my mind because I go, I've done this for you, and now I'm going to develop some sort of bitterness if I don't see your level of gratitude. It doesn't make it healthy, and I'm labeling it, which is probably 99% of the way to sort of like, I'm making light of it. So it's not just like me doing shit for you, then beating the shit out of you because I don't get the result I want. But I see how I am, and I need to do things so when it's not reciprocated on your end, I go, what the fuck, honey? I'm doing a full-time job for you. Look, again, these are my reptilian feelings, just reptilian. Like,
but you've also got to, like, you say it like I'm asking you to do something that you're not already doing for yourself. Like, this is your skill set. And and we've talked about it. We've talked about it on the podcast that like we all rise together, right? What does this say? Rising tides raise all ships, or whatever. Literally, and I know that my personal goals and your personal goals are actually our goals, because any one of the many things that we do taking off benefits every other thing.
And I totally agree with that. Big Venn diagram here.
Yeah, but so when you have the mindset of, I do all this stuff for you, it's like, well, you're doing all this stuff for you too.
Yeah, but I'll do. I totally understand. It's just I can't. I am the executive producer of my shit, so I can be like, that's it, that's the shot. Where with you, I'm the editor, and then I'll put this shot together, and you'll be like, I don't really like that. I'll be like, what the fuck don't you like about it?
Why are you taking it so personally? You should be able to wear two hats,
because I'm the type who needs
take off your executive producer hat and put on the editor assistant to this creative director hat.
In any way, just to wrap it all up in a bow, what it comes down to is, if we're going to work together on things, we got to put it in the calendar and treat it like a job. That way, it's not just like, sometimes a lot of couples that live together have this issue where separating quality time from just hanging out. If we're going to work on something together, we need to like be extra heightened aware of how the other person is going to handle either criticism, gratitude, things like that. I will fight wars for people and you know this. There are people I defend to the grave because they've gone to bat for me in little ways, and those, they're with me for a life. And that's just where my loyalty is. And I'm not saying you're not like that. I know I would like to think if someone was talking shit about me somewhere, some random person, I'd like to think you'd go to bat for me. That's not really the issue. I don't really surround myself with drama. There's no one that I'm aware of. What they say, what people think of you is none of your business, right? So like, I'm not involved in anyone's drama with me, but I would like to think that you're on my team. But within the team, it's hard to see that. Because within the team, you'll always challenge me to be better. And it comes down and I know as long as I survive that, I will be better. And I'm not saying I'm not going to survive that, but there's been plenty of times I wanted to jump off the fucking roof. You know what I mean? I just want to zip line down a electric wire, just to slam into a wall somewhere. Too specific and too visual. But the point is that your bar is set to a level that you let yourself down, and then also I let you down. There's a lot of letting down happening in your world. And I think we have too much good and too many good things in the works to let that be the sort of default mode. Too many good things. We're fucking kicking ass. And I challenge you to find any of your 5 closest friends, put them together, and I will outwork all of their boyfriends. You guys listening out there? I mean, I am literally... so it might be semantics, it might be the organization of what we need to get done.
But you know what I really think could benefit us during this time that we are forced to work from home and forced to work together?
Booty.
A work schedule. Most people go to work from 9 to 5. I don't believe that 9 to 5 is necessary, but I do think if we could commit ourselves from working only. I sit down in my corner, you sit down in your corner from 10 to 2 every day, then that could
10 to 2?
That could be
That's only 4 hours.
Yeah, I don't think that. Listen, there's all sorts of science that says that a 40-hour work week is wasteful and that no one should be working an 8-hour workday. They say that you cap
this
off
podcast is going to take twice as long to edit.
Your productivity for a 5-hour workday is the same as an 8-hour workday.
Sure. Look, I totally understand. You're totally right. Let's report back to this podcast just to bow it up for everybody. Let's report back with what we learned on how to communicate. Let's take this week as an example. We've already got Friday in the calendar for shit that we're going to get done. That's just I've dropped the ball on, so it's on the calendar. It's shit we're going to do. What I need, I'm not going to manage like your personal shit, but I'm going to need you to know if I'm doing stuff for both of us that I need you to like be really involved and excited. But you
gotta understand that I'm also doing other things.
Yeah, and if you're not ready to do something, I'm gonna use my DJ turntable and just pull in the next thing I'm working on because I got 17 different things going on. But don't you think that that's a good idea for us to commit to like 10 to 2 is our work day every day, and any fun time or relaxing time or workout time or whatever else we want to do is gonna happen from 2 o'clock on? Listen, I like it. It might be too structured for me, and I'll tell you why. You might need me out of the house, and you might want... So, like, I at the very least 10 to 2. I might be doing something else.
I'm not saying we can't add on more time. I'm not saying we can't be flexible.
No, but you're right.
But I think that, like, having a regimented... Because we just said we need some sort of structure. Having this regimented schedule and then being able to allocate that time, too. Like, okay, maybe I have... 2 things that are a big priority that I need to make some headway on today. I don't know if I have the resources or whatever. If I don't have everything in front of me to get it totally done, I'll do this project A from 10 to 12 and project B from 12 to 2.
Yeah. And also let's not kill ourselves if we have a morning where it doesn't happen. No, I'm not saying I'm not going to show up to get my shit done. I'm a workaholic. I love what I do. all the fucking shit I'm putting on YouTube and the podcast and stand up. And I mean, it's just, I love it. I absolutely love it. But like what I'm telling you is the self-flagellating has to end. We need to both, because I'm self-critical too about certain things. We need to literally stop each other and say, be kind. You would never let a friend into your life that talked that kind of slammed you the way you slam yourself. And it's not physical. It's not words. It's not you saying, I fucking suck. I mean, sometimes you're very tough on yourself on a physical level. You really are. And I understand that. I understand. I mean, we were doing Maddie's yoga workout. She was live streaming on Instagram. Maddie Hayes. Mm-hmm. Go on her Instagram. She does I think Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Maddie B. Hayes. And, she's doing a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a Saturday or Sunday.
But I had my shirt off, and we're doing a lunge move, and I looked at the mirror, and I wanted to punch my fucking whole family. I was so mad at myself. I just had this this fucking gut that I've worked so hard in the last couple months. I mean, I was doing this Strive for 35 thing, right, where I was going to like be in, and I've been running a ton, which is the crazy part. I'm in this pandemic, I put on weight while I run 6 miles a day. I mean, Tasha taught me how to use the rice maker.
Our vacation started looking iffy, I just said, fuck it. Like, I was really focused on eating healthy for like 2 weeks straight. And then as soon as it started being like, the first trip got canceled, and then it was looking like the second trip was going to get canceled.
This is
I was
what's
like,
so funny.
Give me pasta.
We literally tried everything.
Let me have some rice.
We were supposed to go on the
Only rice makes
Virgin Cruise Line, their maiden voyage, in leaving from Miami to the Bahamas. It was a fully paid for trip. We paid for the flights. That gets canceled. We book a flight to Costa Rica. I think we talked about this extensively on the Patreon. And by the way, if you're out there and you can spare it, join the Patreon, please. I would not mind getting a few extra. I mean, we are literally not going to be able to turn these lights on. We're doing okay, folks. If you don't have the money, don't worry about it. But if you do, now would be the time if you ever wanted to join the Patreon. Patreon.com/thesap. Patreon.com/THESAP. It's always a link in the description. We appreciate all of our new members, including you there, Jake. I keep on calling him Jack because my brother name, but it's Jake from Georgia. Hope you're still alive out there, Jake from Georgia. But everyone else, we appreciate all of them. And yeah, what was the whole point of my thing before I went on the sales pitch rant over there? Is that yeah, like we tried our best. We were supposed to go to Costa Rica. My family was going to go there. I was so excited.
It's just not meant to be.
You've never been with my family when it wasn't on their turf during their work week. I mean, you've only seen them after a work day. It is so fucking sad to me.
Super excited to go on vacation with them. I really was. I was super excited.
Canceled. Cancel it. Fake news. It's all done, and that's okay. It's for their own safety. We didn't cancel the trip till the night before. I mean, we literally waited as long as we could. And
we were trying to get our money back from the airline. We needed them to close their borders before they would give us our money back.
You were pretty stubborn. You were ready to go. I mean, you really wanted, and I get it. If we're not going to be working, we might as well be in Costa Rica. But then all of a sudden, it's like, well, if you don't have a Costa Rican passport, it's a 14-day quarantine once you get there.
It's a 14-day quarantine for anybody.
Jesus Christ. So anyway, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if we're going to pack our bags and drive home. God forbid we need to like see our family. Like, who the fuck knows? The important thing is, in the meantime, folks, the best thing we can do is keep our mental state there. And Tasha, you're right. I mean, we've been tested. We're going to go to bed. We're going to hit those pillows tonight with the feeling like we escaped what could have been a bad fight. We did a good job by not taking the bait, but at the same time, I still know there's a better solution. We were playing with fire. Every relationship has that, where you play with fire. Sometimes you get burned, but then you realize, why don't I just avoid that altogether? And that's going to come down to us being compassionate to each other's languages and knowing that, yeah, I mean, no, you're right. I get hyper focused on my own shit. It's just because I can control it. I can work as hard as I want, but I need to know, I need to do a good job of having our goals and push in the right direction. I wanted to read, actually, but you know what I might as well do is restart the camera one more time. For those that have been listening, loyal listeners, we have really put a lot of time and energy into the video aspect of the podcast. This episode has a 3-camera setup. Really doesn't need it. It could just be an iPhone shot of the two of us, but I'm fucking blowing it out there. I got 17 lights. I painted the wall. I mean, it's a good looking thing we have going on here. This past year on the, you guys know I do Bachelor Recap videos. I started sharing the monetization levels with the audience just because it became fun telling them how much each episode made. And then people started sending Venmo tips, and I ended up making about $150 recapping The Bachelor, which really isn't much. I know YouTubers who make that, before their first fart in the morning. I know people that make $5,000 to $10,000 a day on YouTube. It's fucking insanity out there. But the point being, it's the only social media that will flat out pay you for your views. I'm so done with the way podcasting works. Well, if you tell us how many downloads you get, bullshit. YouTube will cut you a check, whether it's for 8 cents or $17 or whatever it is, for whatever your video made in ad revenue that month. It's very, very fair. And so it needs to be the place that this podcast grows. It's, no one's searching for the podcasts on their Spotify and finding it. It's just not happening. Every fucking Dax Shepard new celebrity that gets and he's a very good podcast, so I'm not complaining about him, but every single person that got into the podcasting thing is just passing by people that have done this for years. We've done this for 6 years. So anyway, the point is, all of my time and energy is being invested in putting the episodes up on YouTube, and of course also the audio only, but where I feel that the growth will be is through the YouTube. So if everyone out there is listening, everyone's got a YouTube, you have one, we know it, go type in my name, Dave Neal, type in the SAP, and then you'll see the SAP there's 2 different playlists within my YouTube. SAP clips and then SAP full episodes. So for all the new video episodes, I'm literally uploading them, to my multicam editor, choosing, every single fucking shot that you see, every single clip, every 3 seconds, that new camera angle. It's because I hit the fucking button as I watched it back. It's brutal watching myself, Tasha. You think you get annoyed by me? Oh my gosh, is it annoying? But I'm exporting it. It's all up on the YouTube, and people are finding it. The Cora Boyd episode, the full episode's got 1,000 views, but it's building every day. There's 40 new views, which to me that's way more than people find it on the audio. So if people want to go up there and I think overall that's got like 4,000 unique people that have checked out that episode. Then you got our old Kelsey Cook episodes, or with Jess Mulder, she's got 3,000 views because she talked about a swinger story. That doesn't get clipped up in the podcast app, and people don't get to find it unless it's the title of the podcast. So YouTube's just a way better search engine. It's where I'm investing all of my money. I need to reset this. So tell me what you think about all that, and how you think we'll be able to grow and take off and all that. Share some positivity with me.
Oh, honey, you're asking me at the wrong time. I think it's a good idea. I'm glad to see you taking some initiative. You've definitely done a really good job at putting some real effort into YouTube lately. I think you've been active on YouTube for a little while, but not in the way that you have been the past couple of months.
It's funny looking back at it, because looking back at it, I'm realizing all these things I wasn't doing. I mean, now it's like when you upload a new thumbnail, saving the thumbnail file with SEO search terms. I mean, it's fucking bananas. It really is. It's just like all the dumb little shit. But what it really comes down to is, if it takes me 5 hours or 10 hours to make a YouTube video, I get so excited I just upload it. Now it's like, no. Spend an hour finding the perfect title for it. It sounds so stupid, but it's like, it does make a difference when you've, testing out which titles are, when you get a video, they're going to show it to a sample size of people. So you might as well grab their eye and all that. I don't know. So anyway, I wanted to, before we get out of here, I wanted to read a couple, relationship advice questions that made it to the top of the charts in the relationship advice subreddit. It's where I go to find all of the viral questions, which basically means they were the best questions. If they made it to this week's top of the charts on the relationship subreddit, it means they had a ton of discussion. So I want to read a few to you, and we can answer them. The first, and this one you might relate to, Tasha. The first one's called "My Boyfriend is Disgusting." I'm posting this for 2 reasons. I want to show my boyfriend that I'm not high maintenance and he truly is disgusting. And number 2, for advice. Now let me get into it. We've been quarantined for days and I'm sick of his mess. I can't deal with it. Socks and underwear everywhere, hair on the bathroom floor and sink. He literally shit on the toilet seat yesterday and didn't clean it and had the audacity to say it wasn't him. He masturbated in the shower and left his evidence on the shower wall. I'm seriously so unattracted to him, and I don't know what to do. By the way, at this point, I'm thinking this was you who wrote it. And I'll tell you why it's not. I was like, what the fuck? Tasha literally wrote this. And then I'm looking at the title. I'm like, is a throwaway account. Was this her? And then it goes, do I make a checklist for him so he doesn't forget? I'm like, oh, that would be Tasha. And then it said, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I've started using the guest bathroom, and I'm at ease knowing it's clean and any mess is my own. And I was like, we don't have a guest bathroom.
I could have written that post.
But you asked me if I shit underneath the toilet seat. And I was like, what the hell?
No, on the toilet seat, there was flecks.
It fell off your butt.
Okay. Sorry, but I don't have explosive poop the way you do.
This is why we need a kid, because I got no one to blame shit. I got the dog. I can be like, the dog farted.
No, the dog does fart a lot. But you were talking earlier about finding ways to co-work in peace. I saw the funniest meme that was like, make up a coworker. It wasn't even a meme. It was just like an advice. Like for couples who are forced to work at home now, y'all need to make up an imaginary coworker to blame stuff on. That's the only way you can prevent killing each other.
Who should it be? A guy or a girl?
Gladys.
Gladys shit on the toilet seat again. Oh, leave it to Gladys. I mean, it's true. When you don't have that third person there, it's pretty obvious. But anyway, yeah, I mean, look, if you live with a person who's not who's messy like that, look, you're not going to change who they are. You're really not.
But honestly, I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair to just be like, you're not going to change who they are and wipe your hands of it and walk away because...
No, but it's like, control you can or get them out. You know, what are you going to do?
But I mean, if this is a person that you love and you want to spend your life with, but they just have seriously screwed up habits because no one ever told them they had to make their bed in childhood.
But you know what though? Like we've adjusted to like, you know, making the bed is way more important to you than to me. When you're out of town, that bed gets made when you're coming back from out of town. Like that's it. I'm making it right before I'm going to go pick you up at the airport. That's what. But there's times when you're like, babe, you'll be like, why the fuck is there beard hair in my retainer? And then I'll be like, well, look, honey, when you shave, it flies everywhere. And sometimes it doesn't settle all at a time, or it'll still be wet. So it'll be clumped together. And then when it dries, it kind of puffs out.
Yeah. But when you make a mess, that mess is your responsibility. So it doesn't matter if like, oh, it just goes everywhere. It's like, well, then you have a responsibility to check everywhere, wipe down everywhere.
Why can't she move him to the guest bathroom then? That way, like, I would love it if you and I had separate sinks for both the kitchen and just so you could see that I will take care of my stuff. And that way, if I do leave the cap off the, but don't get me wrong. Sometimes you just don't notice these things. Like I know I've seen it. Like I think Raquel, commented or one of our listeners who was a friend of ours said how like they'll leave their husband's shit out for a week to see if the guy notices, and he won't. We'll take it to the grave. Like sometimes we just won't notice.
But it's just not fair. It's not fair to the people around you who have to deal with you to just not notice.
Yeah.
It's not fair. It's rude.
Yeah. Well, but in our case, I mean, like there's times when there's certain things where like you'll develop a blob of clothes on top of a purse or like a suitcase that just never gets unloaded.
But you know what? None of that stuff is in your way.
Right.
Like if I have a pile of clothes in my own closet that you never venture into and you never have to find.
No, I'm talking about in front of the mirror. And look, it's just and it's not, I'm just saying, obviously there's a difference between like getting shit on your seat and consistently being a slob versus like, okay, I didn't notice a thing, but that the other person's going to put in the time and energy to clean up after. Like you fall asleep first on the couch all the time and I just clean the shit up and put it away, but that's different than say like leaving fecal matter. You know what I mean? Like there's difference to taking care of each other versus one person like mothering the other. So if she's already talked to the guy, I mean, there's not much else you can do other than just either learning to live with it or moving on, because I mean, this is a grown adult here. So, I'm going to skip that question. Let's do, these are all pandemic ones. Anyone else breaking up through the pandemic? My boyfriend, 30 male of 5 years, and I, 29 female, are taking a break and I'm struggling. Looking for solidarity, comfort, and breakup advice. And then in this description, they said...
It's got to be really tough to be going through a break. Like,
who gets the mask?
I don't think that they're saying that they're breaking up because they're quarantined together, which totally is a thing. I mean, I'm sure they actually, like, there's very real concerns about upticks in domestic violence because people who are not, doing well in their marriage are now stuck together. Well, because
you could use this, it's like a manipulating tactic to be able to be like, well, you can't go out to the bar with your friends or you can't see anybody. Like, yeah, I could totally see that.
But can you imagine, not that you're breaking up because of you realize you hate this person when you have to spend so much time with them, but you just broke up and now all of your friends, everyone is quarantined.
Yeah.
And you don't have any distractions.
But is this
all you can do is like eat ice cream and watch Netflix all day in your own apartment.
She said, I'm staying at a friend's house and he is at our house with our cats. They have cats together. It just got to a point where we couldn't sweep it under the rug anymore. It was time to have a talk. The discussion was rational and we're on the same page about taking space. It's just really hard to be losing a friend and being out of my home and having lost my job and dealing with COVID-19. Plus, I don't have my kitties. There's no certainty and it's really scary. Just wanted to be safe, to be sad in a safe space and looking for solidarity. Yeah, every advice you give someone in a breakup is like, get out there, go meet people, go fuck somebody, don't be socially distant, just don't be now we're like, be socially distant, and you're like, no, but you can still go on a hike or depending on where they live.
Luckily she's staying out of friends.
Yeah, hopefully she's getting that dick. Get it. There's like, I got two. No, is this the last one? Here, this is the last one. My girlfriend, this is a dude who's 17. My girlfriend, and his girlfriend's 19. Oh, she's a predator. Excuse me, that burp was gross. Yeah, did you guys hear that? Feedback. He's 17, said, my girlfriend's family took a family picture and wouldn't let me be a part of it. Is this a normal thing that families do? And let me read further. He said, my girlfriend's family was having a party for her sister. She was getting married, and at the after party, I got to meet my girlfriend's extended family. Aunts and uncles, grandparents, and everything. They loved me, really. They were really nice, like overtly nice, asking about my plans for after school, if I had any scholarships or anything. They even let me eat and fix a plate first. So I know they didn't hate me, but there was one moment that confused me. We took a group photo with the whole family. My girlfriend was eager to let me be in the photo. She pulled me into the frame and we took the picture with me in it. But then the photographer went to take another, but her mom wouldn't let them. She told them to wait and she asked me if I could step out of the frame. She was polite about it, so I obliged. After the party, I asked her what that was all about. She said her mom has this thing where she wants to take an extra photo without the boyfriends or significant others. I asked why, and she said something about in case it doesn't work out. They let her sister's new husband in the photo, though. I just wondered, is this something normal families do?
Yeah, that's absolutely normal. You can tell a 17-year-old asked that. Yeah. I didn't want to be. The first time we went to go meet your family, your parents insisted I get in the photo. That was weird.
No, we did photos without you, though.
Yeah, sure you did.
But it should be, I think it should be up to you, the outsider, to be like, no, you guys go in. And then after they're like, okay, come in.
Obviously, it can't be like that because you've got a person like this that doesn't know that they should excuse themselves.
No, but now he knows you should excuse yourself. And it's funny that he goes, well, they let the new husband in. Yeah, bro, you just met the grandparents. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even know.
Yeah, the new husband is legally bound to this family now.
Last year for Christmas, I was in your extended family's photo after church service. And I was still kind of like, do they want me in this? Should I get on the outside? Like, I know how to Photoshop works. I'm like, should I be on the outside? It'll be hard. It'll be easy to remove me.
Where was that?
It was that giant mega church place. It was the first time we went.
It's not a mega church.
Well, it was, it was a big,
yeah, for Rhode Island, I guess.
That was like you guys had like a mall. You had
That's
like mall
a normal
hallways.
Church.
There was like pamphlets everywhere.
That's the church I grew up in.
Free coffee though. I'll bend the knee for some free coffee. Anyway, yeah, I mean, look, did I have any more? Maybe there's one more in there. But, yeah, that's a guy who just doesn't understand. Look, of course it's not going to work out. You got to assume it's not going to work out.
Yeah,
just get out of the fucking photo.
About to go to college.
Got the disgusting one. Oh, here's one. Should I tell the other girl? So basically, I just found out a guy I'd been sleeping with for a whole year actually had a long-term girlfriend the whole time. He lied to me and told me that they had broken up. I happened to come across her social media profile and saw that they were actually together the whole time. Should I tell her? I feel really awful, shocked, and confused right now and really need someone to give me some objective advice. Part of me doesn't want to get involved, but part of me feels like this poor woman deserves better. Tasha, that one's for you. Should she tell the other woman?
Boy, it's so tough. I feel like in that situation when you're like, should I tell, should I not tell? It's hard to know what the other person would want. It's hard to know. Some people would rather just be blissfully ignorant. You know, I read a similar one of those the other day where the person they had a family. Yeah. And the husband was like running around and was dating someone else. And then the girl found out that, oh my God, this guy actually has a family. And the advice, the question was, should I tell? And it's like, well, I don't know. Are you going to break up a family? Maybe she already knows he has a history of infidelity. Maybe she's just, trying to ignore it.
Yeah, it's weird. It is.
It's a hard space to be in. I think that obviously people deserve to know the truth, but do you really want to be the one to tell them?
Would you want to know if some chick was banging me?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd want to know.
I don't got the time. I don't got the fucking time to deal with more. More. Hey, what time are you be home? What time are you going to be away from your wife?
I think it's a complicated situation for the person who was the other woman to be the person to tell. Maybe there's like, in this other situation, there was a mutual friend, that could be like the person to tell.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I know it's, what's interesting is we were watching Tiger King, is that what it's called? There's a lot of infidelity in that. All these white, really just trashy humans. I mean, you guys watching this show on Netflix, it's freaking amazing. It's about the tiger trade, like the exotic tiger world, and there's like gay guys that are then straight and they're fucking and they have tattoos by their crotch to say, he's like, Joe's zone only. It's like, what the fuck, man? They're making me question everything I'm doing in life. Tasha doesn't have a tattoo that says Dave's zone only. Come on, donate to the Patreon. I got to get Tasha a tattoo. But it's I don't know. People are complicated out there. I don't know. I mean, are we either A, that naive, or B, just not shitty humans? Because it's only like the shitty humans that, and again, I'm not trying to virtue signal here, but obviously the juiciest of the juicy is what shoots up to the top of these sort of like relationship advice questions. It's never like, oh, well, we were just, having a low libido and I jerked off in the shower and shit on a toilet. And, that was one. But, I don't know. It's interesting. It's like, you should know, you would think, and not to victim blame, but you would think someone would know if they were being cheated on for that long, You would think, but I am not a suspicious person, so I have never thought, what's he up to when you're out at night? Have you ever thought I was out philandering?
No.
Is that a word? Philandering?
No, I don't think you are. But
of all the things that you are, it's so shocking that's not you.
That actually makes me the person that's like primed to get cheated on, because I have no suspicions whatsoever. It wouldn't even cross my mind.
Like, I dated a girl once.
So think about how easy it could be. It could be super easy for you to be fooling around and not know. I think the things that give off the biggest signal are when a relationship starts to feel distant and like your significant other is maybe spending more time on their phone than usual, or being super secretive about their phone when they didn't used to.
Yeah.
So like those could be like little flags that would alert you that something's different. But, back to this question, we don't know what their circumstances are. I mean, maybe it's an open relationship type thing, and maybe he was only being untruthful to the second person who he thought wouldn't be into that.
You know what sounds crazy, but I really feel this way. I think, and again, everyone's different, so it's not like some gender thing, like women are this way, men are that way. But I think when you have a family, like mom mode takes over. And I know, like people they really must affect their sex lives, because, when you kind of break down the gene code of humans, it's like, all right, find attraction. Okay. Find a provider. Great. Get knocked up. Awesome. Now protect this kid, feed them the best food, make them the best thing, and that carries on your gene pool. So it's like, once you're hyper focused on the kids, I always look at this with my sister, with Chase, and she's got 4 fucking kids. They're beautiful, they're cute, but I always feel bad for Sean, her husband, because I'm like, give this guy some love. He's out there working his ass off.
Priority list now. He's lowest on the totem pole.
Sean comes home, he's like a breadwinner, he comes home from a long day, and she's like, oh, it must be nice, you going to some conference, and it's like, gee, fuck, man, like, this guy's providing everything for you. He's working his balls off. But I get it. Like, I get like that things shift. You just have to be evolved enough or enlightened enough as a person to like understand, all right, I understand this is my priority now, but I got to look at this. And then she does it. She'll give him some nice posts, but it's like, you need to like,
but hold on. She's also working her ass off.
Of course.
She's up to her neck in diapers every day.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, he's working his ass off, but she is also working her ass off.
But he's got to report to somebody.
She doesn't have the luxury of, like, getting away from the kids and, like, thinking about anything else.
No, I totally get it.
That takes up all her brain space.
But I can just imagine.
But I think what would be excellent for their marriage and everyone's marriage in general is, like, bedtime is at 8:30. and mommy and dad have mommy and dad time.
Yeah.
From 8:30 to 10. Whatever that means. If that means Netflix, if that means a glass of wine and popcorn, if that means a little sexy time, like you really have. I mean, I'm big on the schedule. You know,
we can't get the dog, but you just can't control kids. Like we can't get the dog to shut up at night. Like we've got a dog that starts crying at night. Like, you know what I mean? It's. I've seen how you react to the dog, and it makes you wonder. Imagine like you're sleeping in the middle of the night and some kid wet willies your ear.
Tired. I'm so tired. I was thinking about this earlier. I cannot fucking imagine being a mom because I'm exhausted already. I don't have anything left.
My mom was a decade younger than you with 2 kids. A decade younger than you with 2 kids, no husband. I know, it's wild.
Well, a decade younger me maybe could have had the stamina for 2 kids, but this girl...
No, but then my mom had her 4th when she was 41. And now she didn't have the stamina. I mean, that was tough, but she had teen children.
Exactly. Live-in babysitters.
I remember when Jameson was born.
You know, Sean's birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? Well, we'll have to come up.
So he's going to be 20?
Wow. Yeah, we both have weird.
Right?
We both have weird age ranges.
Or 19. No, because he was born in 2000, so he will be 19 because you go from 0 to 1.
When Jameson was born, I was 11. Okay, which I was really that young. Huh? I was 11.
Wait, does that mean he's gonna be 20?
What year was he born?
2000.
Yeah, honey. Jesus Christ. When Jameson was born, he was maybe a couple months old. And we had a tiny house. It was before we moved. We were still living in Newport. Tiny 3-bedroom home. But this is for like 6 people. It was 2 different families merged together. He's my half brother. And I remember telling my mom, first of all, I was 11. You know what I mean? But in my head, maybe I was 12. Okay, call me 12. But in my head, I was like a pretty, I was a pretty mature kid. I did a lot of growing up on the streets of Newport, Rhode Island. Okay, I really did. And I go, hey mom, I'll watch Jameson tonight. I got him. That's what I said. I was 12, and I thought, I guess in hindsight, I thought they would be like, no, you're 12. We're good. But they were so tired. They were like, sure, just take him. And I remember I watched him all for one night, and it's like that's it. And it was. And again, I know some moms out there. I know Rayanne. She's a new mother. She's one of our listeners and a good friend of mine. I know she's out there being like, one night, wow, good job, Dave. Gold star. But it's interesting to be like, you get like this like glimpse into what the reality is that you don't understand until you're a parent. And hey, maybe we'll get there, maybe we won't. But who knows? Maybe the coronavirus will spur a lot of births in the November of this year, right? November 9, 10, 11, December. There'll be a lot of births, a lot of Christmas time. Corona babies. But anyway, so shout out to all the moms, the hardworking moms out there. And the point of it all is to circle it all the way back is to maintain gratitude for the things we take advantage of. I'm not telling just this to you. It's maintain the butterflies of, wow, this person's into me. Fucking cool. I don't know if you ever had that from me, Tasha, but wow, this person's responding to my text. Wow, we're flirting. Wow, cool. All too often in society, in relationships, once we get the thing, whatever it is,
the novelty wears off.
The novelty wears off. I was going to say this before about you. You could win the lottery, and instead of stressing about making money, you'd be like, well, where should I invest my dividends? So it's like the novelty wears off. The novelty of relationships, of good things wears off. It is up to us to treat every day with the gratitude that we still have all that, especially, and maybe this is one of the purposes of this pandemic, is to remind us of the simple value of life above all else. That's all I have to say about that.
Wow, preachy.
Yeah, I try to be. If you want more preachiness, go to the podcast on the Patreons. The Patreon, that's patreon.com/thesap. Patreon.com/THESAP. I do a weekly episode, either solo or with Tasha or with my buddy Jonesy. He might Skype in. He's in Arizona. He just spent 3 months in fucking Singapore, so God knows what he's contracted. All the bat soup he's been having over there, and whatever, all the misinformation I want to spew. But anyway, Singapore is beautiful. It's probably, I think it's the wealthiest country in the world, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
it's really nice over there with this. Anyway, so, but yeah, the Patreon has just been a breeding ground, a virus, if you will, of positivity. I mean, it really has been an amazing thing. We are really taking a deep dive into sharing a lot of shit that we just can't share on this podcast. A lot of personal stuff on there, and we appreciate our members so much. And we are opening the welcoming gate to anybody who's got the extra bread for the tip jar. That's the place to put it. If you have a thing against Patreon, you don't want to be a member, whatever, you can Venmo, or just, if above nothing else, subscribe on the YouTube. Rate us, review us, leave comments on all the videos, all those friendly things that help the algorithm, which, by the way, folks, once we're like, I feel like I'm a kayaker who's sitting on the dock paddling, you know what I mean? And the second somebody pushes me into that fucking, as soon as I can hit that algorithm, I am taking the fuck off. I'm over it. I'm selling merch. It's gonna be obnoxious. You're gonna see my new Jeep Grand Cherokee. I mean, it's really gonna just be total rapper energy by me. But in the meantime, we appreciate everyone who's out there supporting us. We should get out of here. We got a long week ahead of us. Everyone stay safe, stay positive. And I say this every episode, but please write in. Let me know how you're doing. I love hearing from new people. Every so often we get an email from someone saying, wow, I've listened for 3 years, but I've never really thought about it. Write in. Come on out there. It makes the job a lot easier on our end to know that we've got people listening. So thank you to all of our amazing loyal listeners. We appreciate you. We hope your whole family's safe. And if not, just let everyone know, regardless, that you love them and share that love out there. It might sound awkward now, but there is no better time than the present to preach that gratitude. We good to go?
Yeah.
That's it. Good episode, baby.
Yeah. Not bad for a belly full of rice.
Not bad for a belly full of rice. That's it. Bye, everybody.